Usually there's somebody else who does this. You alright? Are you done? We got like 4 minutes.
Oh, there's a record button right here.
Hey, Troy, I had a question about the live stream for Ned.
I did. Thanks so much for coming tonight. We got a lot of great music for you to hear tonight, so I will try to not talk very much. The first piece that you heard was Funky Town, and featured solos by Devin Walland, Max Craddock, and Ivor Simonson. The next piece that you're going to hear is a classic Beatles song. I always loved the Beatles, so I was glad when Miss Tim Anderson picked this one. It is I Want to Hold Your Hand, so we hope you enjoy it. I Want to Hold Your Hand. So, jumping with the jazz band's been a lot of fun. They meet once a week before school, and so just huge shout out to them for choosing to show up at like 7:15 in the morning before school, just to make some extra music. It's been a lot of fun working with them. I really enjoyed it, and well, to be honest, I won't mind getting there a little later on Thursdays. But it has been just a great time with them in the last like month and a half, and I've really enjoyed it. And don't forget, there's donuts on Thursday, right? 7:30. That was also so you all remember that they need donuts. So, anyways, the last beat that they're gonna play is Reboot. It's gonna feature solos by Lydia Haller, Adriana Getz, and Adelaide Cherry. Yep, so we hope you enjoy Reboot.
The first piece that you heard today was Premier March by Joseph Campello. This piece is a march which is a rhythmic and precise style of music originally for marching and parades. This march has allowed the band to work on eighth note rhythms and dynamics.
The next piece that you will hear tonight is Six Note Blues. This piece takes the first six notes that we've learned and turns it into a blues piece. Blues is a style of music that is gloomy and somber in tone. In this three-part piece, you can hear a bass line and below brass influence with a melody and harmony line above it. We hope you enjoy Six Note Blues. Today is Midnight Mission by Bonham All. This piece is designed to reflect a late night adventure in which people spend sneaking around and encountering obstacles, and so showed the mission objective. This piece has allowed us to work on new and different articulations, as well as independently in sections. We hope you enjoy Midnight Mission.
just really quick before the fifth graders play their last song, I just wanted to say how much fun it has been working with the fifth graders. My first job, I worked from 5 through 12, and I got a high school job, and so I thought I was done with fifth grade. And then, you know, everything happened, and I jumped in, and honestly, it's been so much fun starting my morning off with the fifth graders. They're so excited, and sometimes the high schoolers aren't. And so that's just really, really enjoyable to be around. It's also just been cool. Music's such a cool opportunity because you can really see the progression as you get older. And I hope you'll hear that tonight with the fifth graders and the eighth graders. But it's just been so fun to get to hear them get better in the couple weeks I've been with them. So thanks for putting up with my jokes. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun. So here's Kylie to tell you about the last song.
The final piece that the fifth grade band will play today is Pirates Cave by Mark Williams. This piece depicts a pirate's gang's secret hideout through swashbuckling melodies. This is a high-energy piece that we are sure you will enjoy listening to. Thanks for coming to our concert tonight, and please enjoy Pirates Cave.
grade band play today was Fire vs. Fanfare by Roland Barrett. The name of this piece comes from the term supernova, which is a star exploding. The energetic music in this piece was written to embody the brightness of this event.
The next piece you will hear is Themes from Harry Potter by John Williams and is arranged by Paul Cook. This takes two of the most famous melodies from Harry Potter movies and arranges them for a band. You will hear both Hedwig's theme and Harry's Wondrous World, melodies that can be found throughout the Harry Potter movies. We hope you enjoy listening to themes from Harry Potter.
Next, the 8th grade band will perform Barbarossa by William Hines. This piece was written to represent Operation Barbarossa during World War II. Operation Barbarossa was the name of a German plan to invade Russia, and this piece tells the story of this invasion and the Russians' successful attempt at Stalin. We hope you enjoy Barbarossa.
Before we do our last song, I just have a couple thank yous. First off, before I do that, the 8th grade band has been stuck with me all year. And honestly, it's been so much fun working with them all year. There are a ton of very talented kids, a ton of very funny kids, and it just makes class every day super fun. So just wanted to give them a shout out for being awesome. So good job. Before we move on to our last piece, I did want to just have, there's a bunch of thank yous that I just got to get through. First off, a big thank you to our administration and our teachers for all their support of our music department, for letting kids leave for lessons. Everything that we do is, and all the great music you hear is only possible because of them. A big thank you to our custodians for all the work they do to help us get ready for this. There was a huge dance contest in here this weekend, and it was really messy, and they got the whole thing ready for us for the high school concert last night, and this and cleaned up, and we just really, really appreciate that. So thank you to them. A big thank you to my music colleagues, Mr. Najar, who's been here helping out with warm-ups before the concerts, Mrs. Rosselt, Mr. Razor, who we hired to come help with lessons. He's been just really great jumping in with them right away and helping them keep those lessons going. And then obviously a big thank you to Miss Tam Anderson. She made it so easy to just jump into all this when everything happened. I know she's watching tonight, and just wanted to make sure we really thanked her. That's why we all have the pink shirts on tonight, and we're just so lucky to have her in our Watertown Mayor's School. If you're interested in making a donation, we do have donation things on the sides, and then we'll be selling cookies and shout outs afterwards. All of that money will be donated to Hope Chest, which is a local breast cancer foundation, and that money goes to local families in need, similar to Miss Tam Anderson. So if you feel like making a donation, those are on the way out, and then also cookies and shout outs in the back after the concert. So, I think that's it. Here you go, Adriana.
The last piece of the concert tonight is Shadows Unleashed by Brian Belwages. This piece is a dark and mischievous piece that depicts shadows moving into and out of the darkness during a ritualistic dance. It starts with a slow and uncertain opening before spreading up into an energetic and powerful dance as the shadows are unleashed. Thanks for coming to the concert tonight, and please enjoy Shadows Unleashed.